Hello everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are going to be making a very easy sandwich bread, and for this bread I'm going to be using just 6 ingredients. If you have your flour, your sugar, yeast, salt, butter and milk, you can definitely make this bread. So let's get started. So I've got my bread flour here. If you are familiar with my baking recipes, especially my breads, you know that I use bread flour. However, for this particular recipe, you can use all-purpose flour. It's going to work just as well. To that, I'm going to be adding my sugar. This is a 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. I've got my yeast and my salt. So go ahead and mix all this together. You want to mix everything until it's well combined. I'm going to go ahead and create a well at the center of my flour, and to that I'm going to be adding my melted butter, and I'll also be adding my warm milk. Now my choice for liquid today is milk, however you can use plain water, it works just as well. So just go ahead and use your wooden spoon to mix this gradually. As you can see, the dough is coming together and it's giving me a very soft and wet dough, and this is exactly the texture you should be looking out for if you are making this. So I'm going to leave this to rest for about 5 minutes and I'll come back to it to show you the next step. The reason why I'm leaving this dough to rest for 5 minutes is pretty easy. It's just a simple science. The longer the dough rests, the more the gluten develops. So I want the gluten to develop a little bit before I continue, mixing it. And that is going to allow our bread to have a good chewy texture. So that is what all this 5 minutes wait is all about. All right, now, so it's been 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and stir this one more time. As you can see, it's rising already. And you can see the texture has changed. Look at this. It's super stretchy at this point. So just mix it one more time with your wooden spoon. Not so much mixing should be involved here, just a little bit. Now I'm going to be leaving this to rest for a full 1 hour. My dough is well risen, and before I open it, I'm just going to go ahead and grease my 2 loaf pans. I'm greasing them with just butter at room temperature. Then I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle some flour inside. You have to be generous with the flour. Now try and move all the flour all around so it can coat all the sides of the pan, just like this. Go ahead and do the second one the same way. And the leftover flour, I'll just keep it. Here is my dough. As you can see, it's well risen and it rose for just 45 minutes. I'll just go ahead and punch down the dough to remove all the trapped air. Now I'm going to be transferring this to my work surface. You want to lightly flour the work surface. Then go ahead and drop the dough. All right, now I'll be dividing this dough into 2 equal parts, or let me just say as equal as I can. Dust your hands a little bit, then gather all the dough together. As you can see, I'm trying to shape it into a loaf. As you know, the dough is very soft and sticky. So all you have to do is just to try and gather it just like this. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this inside my loaf pan. So as you can see, my dough is well seated inside my pan. I'll just press it a little bit, just like this, so that it can reach the edges of the pan. I'll be covering this with a wet kitchen towel to prevent the dough from drying up, and I'll be leaving it to proof again for 15 minutes. I've got 1 egg here. I'm going to be cracking that inside my bowl. To that, I'm going to be adding 1 tablespoon of water. Give that a good whisk. And this is what I'm going to be using to brush the surface of my bread before it goes inside the oven. Here we go. As you can see, my dough is beautifully risen. I think this is kind of more than the other one here. My mistake, but that is perfectly okay. So I'll just go ahead and brush this with my egg wash. You have to be gentle. You remember the dough is very soft, so you don't want to press it too hard. And this is going to allow the surface of the bread to come out shiny once it's done. All right, now, so this is going to be going into a 375 degrees preheated oven. Here are my 2 loaves of bread. They are all done. They are looking golden brown and they smell so good. So to know if your bread is all done, you have to just dip a skewer inside the middle of the loaf. When the skewer comes out, it has to come out clean, just like this. So now my loaves are done. They spent 30 minutes inside the oven. While the bread is still hot, I'm just going to brush it over with some butter. And this is going to help to soften the crust. I love butter, so you can see I'm kind of generous with this. So there we go. I'm just going to be leaving this again to cool down for a few minutes before I remove them from the pan. Now look at this. They are so soft. I'm going to go ahead now and slice one of them so you can see how it looks like on the inside. Wow, now look at this. This looks so good. So this is how I make my 6 ingredient sandwich bread whenever I am super busy. It comes together pretty quick. In less than 2 hours actually, your bread is ready. So thank you very much for spending your time with me. I hope you also enjoy this bread as much as we do in my home. And as usual, all the details you need to this recipe can be found in the description box below. Until next time, I'll talk to you shortly. Enjoy.